strong nation. We are the changes, WUB. And all the things that will feel happen and dark and blue skies. I don't think that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling of the day. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play around, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. Before that, I probably pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's the show, it no matter even if you're at home. Just call in, WUB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling of the day. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the show, my people. Believe our hope, so to needless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution, yeah. Love, respect, selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes, WUB. And all the things that will feel happen and dark and blue skies. I don't feel that people get victimized. Let's work together for better, we got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling WUB.
Good morning and welcome to Creme FM and XTV's WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on this beautiful 14th of June 2024 at 6:38 a.m. here in studios. My name is Numi Usher. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Hope you are doing well, you rested well yesterday, and you are ready to take on this Friday. Before we get into the show though, we have to give you the weather and the news. The news here is prepared by XTV's News Desk, and the weather report is prepared by the National Meteorological Service. This morning, our forecaster is Catherine Cumberbatch.
Good morning, Belize. Moist and unstable conditions continue to dominate our weather. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today with cloudy intervals, and high temperatures today are expected to reach 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 95 inland and 82 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be cloudy with low temperatures of 81 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast to 74 over inland areas and 68 in the higher elevations. Shower activity will be isolated today except for a few showers and thunderstorms to develop over inland areas during the afternoon and evening hours. Tonight and tomorrow, expect some outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms to affect most areas. The winds will be light and variable at first, then the winds will blow from the east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots. The sea state will be light sharp. A low tide will occur at 10:37 this morning, followed by a high at 3:57 in the evening. Another low occurs at 10:48 tonight and a high at 4:46 a.m. The sun rose at 5:18 a.m. and will set at 6:28. The moon comes up at 19 minutes past midday and set at 37 minutes past midnight. In the sargassum forecast, there is a medium chance that a few more sargassum mats could affect coastal destinations during the coming days. In the outlook for Saturday and Saturday night is for cloudy skies with some outbreaks of showers and thunderstorms to affect most areas. In the tropical weather outlook for the North Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, tropical cyclone formation is unexpected during the next 48 hours. And that's your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. Crime FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
In a press release this week, the Belize Peace Movement, BPM, shared the concern that they feel the Briceño administration and the Elections and Boundaries Commission intend to eliminate their court action regarding redistricting. They note that if the government is successful in doing so, it would allow for the next general elections to be held without undertaking the redistricting exercise in contravention of the Constitution. One outcome of this, they say, is that the House of Representatives may indefinitely defer the representation of the People Amendment Bill 2024. In their release, the BPM cites a second affidavit that the chairman of the Elections and Boundaries Commission, Senior Counsel Oscar Sabido, submitted in response to their application for the enforcement of the consent order in the redistricting case. Sabido stated in a document dated June 7th that in an interview, the attorney for the Belize Peace Movement has accepted that the presentation of the redistricting recommendations as a bill in the House of Representatives on May 30th for its consideration amounts to compliance with the consent order, which the Belize Peace Movement completely rejects. Sabido wrote, quote, I am advised by the Solicitor General and I verily believe that the application is therefore now moot and the determination will serve no useful purpose, end quote. The BPM again addressed the Prime Minister, Honorable John Briceño's recent remarks suggesting that there is not enough time to conduct a redistricting exercise before the next general elections. This, they say, only casts doubt in the minds of voters. They call on Belizeans to press for the redistricting exercise to be done and to ensure that the next general elections is constitutional. The chairman of the Commission of Inquiry into the Sugarcane Industry, Wayne Piper, yesterday explained to the media that the commission has been tasked to study the efficiency of the entire sugarcane industry. He said they are looking at the industry as one of sugarcane and not simply sugar, as they are reviewing how to capitalize on the potential of the entire industry and not just sugar.
The Commission has been given a very wide remit to look at the sugar industry on a whole, but we start with trying to benchmark the efficiencies of the two major mills, being BSI mills here in Tower Hill and also Santander's mill. And we're benchmarking them not against only each other for efficiency, but also in terms of looking at other mills regionally. And we've also started looking at some internationally, wider than just in our region, that we can compare the efficiencies, not just what at our level we'd expect to see, not just in our region, but have an idea as to how sugar mills are operating globally. I think the reason for this is to see where we can improve our efficiencies locally. When we look at so many different options, and even locally, we've seen that the two mills operate almost completely differently. And so we have to find a way to balance these differences, but also find the inefficiencies and how there can be improvement. We've been also tasked to look at the efficiencies across the entire value chain of sugarcane. We're looking from farming, from planting seeds, all the way up to the marketing of the final product. So we are looking at the farming, the harvesting practices, the varieties that are being used in farming. We are also looking at the transportation to the mill, the efficiencies of the mill, as I said, the uses of the product, because it's not just sugar that we're looking to get out. How can we use the molasses? Can we look at other products that we can use, such as ethanol?
To explain that the Commission is looking at how small farmers can better benefit.
We've also been tasked to look at how we can improve the value to small farmers. We know we have two big industry players in terms of the mills, but especially in the north, a lot of the sugar is grown and harvested by small farmers, and they often get forgotten as development goes. And I think we've been tasked to really look at how we can see the practices that can benefit small farmers. If it's worked elsewhere, how it can be applied in the Belizean situation as well.
Two members of the Sugarcane Industry's Commission of Inquiry are from Mauritius. Piper explained that Mauritius's sugar industry went through something similar some decades ago and explained how Belize can benefit from Mauritius's case.
In terms of our commissioners, we have two from Mauritius, and Mauritius faced some of the problems that Belize is facing now. Many years ago, I think in the 1930s, they had the sort of conflict we have between farmers and mills. And they have developed their industry over the years to reach a piece of legislation that works, or that seems to work. But one thing they always say, there's always conflict between the farmers and the mills. But what we have to work on is finding a way that it's an open industry for everyone, that it can work together and everyone can benefit.
From before the Commission of Inquiry began its assessment of the sugarcane industry in Belize, BSI-ASR had been vocal against being forced to reveal confidential corporate information. Yesterday, Piper addressed those concerns.
I would say the Commission can make requests for documents that are within their terms of reference, but do not infringe on the private and confidential data of a stakeholder. And this doesn't go just for BSI, it goes for all stakeholders.
The effects from wildfires have been getting worse in recent years, and the devastation this dry season has been described as unprecedented. With climate change intensifying, it's only expected that things will continue to worsen. Asked about increasing Belize's capacity to fight wildfires for next year, Prime Minister John Briceño said we need to get rid of the notion that Belize can afford its own air support.
We are working on that, and he is working on a new budget. And despite everything, I mean, we can't let the best be the enemy of the good. And in this sense, this issue about air support, guys, we don't even own a helicopter. And to us to be able to say we're going to own a helicopter, to be able to, let's be real, let's be realistic. What we're looking is how we can reorganize this whole firefighting forest fires, how we're going to fight them. And it has been from top to bottom. And one of the ideas that I always forget this young man's name, highly qualified young man that was studied in the United States about firefighting. He's in an NGO. I think he's the deputy chairman of APAMO. And what you're saying, we need to start from the community level, to give them some sort of training and a little bit some equipment so that in most instances we can contain it. We also have to start to look at controlled burning, something that has not been done, that you burn your underbush or your forest, not when it is the hottest, but when it is still damp a little bit, so you could get rid of some of the debris, so that if there's a fire, it's not going to be it's not going to be huge and as destructive as what it was. We have to We have to forget about looking at the movies and all kind of helicopters and having 1,000 people or we have to work with what we have. And I must thank publicly the BDF who they were out there for many days helping us to fight these fires. Now we need to look at the rebuilding process, and the Minister of Agriculture yesterday in Cabinet has already said they're already reaching out to be able to provide seeds for farmers so that they can replant and get themselves back on their feet. We are working on a budget, and once we have the budget, obviously we'll have to present a supplementary budget to be able to do this.
Minister of Natural Resources, Honorable Cordell Hyde, was asked Wednesday about a report that a suspension of dredging operations from early February this year at the Wilbauer Flats for the Angelfish Key project has now been lifted. As you may recall, when fly fish tour guides learned of the project because dredging was started in the area, they created an uproar saying their livelihoods would be affected. The minister on Wednesday said that the government must do the right thing in this case and affirmed that the area must remain untouched.
It's most regrettable that NIAC never got an opportunity to get input and get the clear and passionate views that he worked on the other fly fishers. I believe if NIAC had gotten that, had gotten to see and hear this testimony from these fly fishers, then we wouldn't be in this situation.
But these things aren't usually coincidences. When people aren't heard from, when vested stakeholders aren't heard from, it's part of a deliberate strategy to exclude adverse opinions.
Oftentimes. But in this particular case, the persons from NIAC are saying that, listen, we had multiple consultations in Hopkins. They didn't have it in Placentia. As I understand it, they had it in Hopkins, and that village is apparently the closest point to the flats. But I think they had multiple, but the relevant fly fishers never knew of it and found out of it after the fact. And so now government has to make a determination going forward. Government is going to do the right thing. Let me just say that. Government is going to do the right thing.
However, that may involve compensating Angelfish LLC.
That is a challenge. That is often the challenge for a government. You have to weigh these things, the economic benefits against the environmental impact, and the environmental benefits against the social. We have to weigh these things, but ultimately, based on everything we've heard, like, you can't touch those, you can't touch that area. But government has to make the right decision on this, because that has to stay in the hands of Belizeans for as long as we can possibly keep it.
News package for you this evening at 6 p.m. It is 6:53 a.m. on this 14th June 2024. We will take a short break, but stay with us, because when we get back, we get into the Friday morning edition of XTV and Creme FM's WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. The news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports.
Babe, I'm going out to pay the water bill.
You don't need to go out. You could pay it from your phone. Look.
Babe, the credit card bill. I'll go pay it.
You can also pay it with your phone.
Babe?
Yes, love?
I need to go deposit the baby Sarah's pay.
You really want to go out, don't you? It's okay. I will make the transfer and you go play ball.
With Atlantic Bank Mobile, your personal banking experience is easier and more convenient. Bank your way with any of our digital channels and save time for what matters most.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
welcome back to Creme FM and XTV's WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on this Friday, the 14th of June. I cannot believe that we're at mid-June already, 2024. 7:03 a.m. My name is Katie Numi Usher, and as you have heard and will soon see, I am now joined by Nuri Mohammed. So, good morning, Nuri. How are you?
Happy to be here, Katie.
Yes.
And, welcome to everybody.
Right.
We have an exciting show this morning.
We do have an exciting show, so we have a little bit of everything for you. Quite excitingly, as you say, we know that we are in Father's Day weekend. So even though we don't have, like last year we had a Mother's Day show and a Father's Day show, but this year what we did is for Mother's Day, well, the Friday before the Sunday, we had Mother's Day giveaways. So we'll be doing that today all day on our programming here on XTV and Creme FM. So fathers, remember that number is 280-5848. No. Honestly, what I do is I just give because I appreciate the parents and what they do. Caller, you're on the air. Go right ahead. But please take off whatever you're monitoring on because it gives us a feedback.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
And that young lady beside you there. You guys are looking wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow, thanks. That's very kind.
And I have a slightly issue that I was very busy on my mind, and I need to spit it out.
All right.
The schools, the labor laws, are not with us, the lower class people. I have an issue that I had wanted to spit out of my brains for quite some time. So, Mr. Nuri, I'm happy with you. I'm a happy guy with you. Because
Thank you.
I think you come from the same kind of life that I lived, and I wanted to embrace on it because I have a child. It's not 100% perfect, but what I'm focusing on is that if schools have issues with your child, consultation, meetings, so that you could get the sense and so that you could make a difference as parents. Sometimes I wonder why schools have to take these initiatives on their own and don't consult with parents efficiently and professionally. There was some sort of things that when you don't have classes, where is the pen and paper? Give it to your child, give it to the student, so that they bring it to the parents, so that the parents could know what's happening out there. If there's no classes, or if we're having events and analysis, schools are not doing that anymore.
Hey, caller, are you sitting in front of a fan? Because we're getting a lot of that breeze, okay? So go ahead, though, please. I'm listening. We are listening.
All right. Yes, Chief. As a respected and responsible parent, all of us know that schools is more important than anything else. And whatever happens at schools with your child, teachers, management should send a letter to you so that you could decide, okay, I'll come to the school, I could deal with this or whatever with the child. But it is difficult. Years ago, I used to get letters from school, okay, we won't have classes today because we have an event somewhere, or we expect your child to come to school so that we will have this and that and that. It is not happening anymore.
Can I just say this, because I had recently saw something similar to what you're saying. It appears that what classroom teachers are doing now is ensuring that they're in contact with the parents through chat groups. So, for example, Belmopan had to close all of its schools because it had problem with water. And children from different schools all heard that they shouldn't come to school today because the administrators of the school texted out. So I'm wondering, yes, I know what you're talking about in the old time days of sending a note, but aren't they putting you in a chat group where whatever is to happen in that classroom or in the school, you would know?
But Chief, you know, some of us parents are not in that category. You know.
You mean no phone? You mean no phone?
Well, technologically that way.
Oh no! Yes.
We are some of us parents are hi, hello, and this. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean. I just to get used to this myself, my brother. I understand.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I have to go through Messenger and YouTube and all of this, I'm sometimes I feel shame of myself because my child who is 10 years old is the one who's guiding me.
That's a lot of parents too, though. So no worry about that. Right.
That's okay. But go back to the story about why you have a problem with the school and how they are not informing you. Tell us about that.
What will happen is that right now my child is at home. He say they don't be having classes for him today because they'll be having some event somewhere around.
Right.
So what I will do, I will not put the pressure on them because I don't have that much in phone. I will deal with my son in a few minutes so that he can maybe get into the phone and maybe guide me a little bit, you know, because they don't have more technology than we than before, you know.
Right. Yeah. So tell, in a nutshell, tell us exactly where want we know, or what exactly are you asking us about in regards to the school?
Information.
Right. They want a letter or a note.
If they won't be having classes, can a letter comes, because that's what they usually, that's what I used to.
Right.
A letter comes, put it in the hand child, in the child's hand, and then you brought it home, and then we read it, and then
sign it and send it back. That's true.
Very important point, my brother. Because a lot of people don't realize there's a gap here.
Right, and then, you know, the assumption is that everybody will read the text. You know, sometimes people might be busy and think they read the text, they've not read the text, or like you said, they might not be, you know, that technologically able. Well, you know, ability, but, you know.
I did another class.
Myself, there are certain things.
And sometimes the children comes with different messages. We have to be at class because of certain things, but it's not that because they're at class. They're stream, you know, and this is what we want to know from the school, that when the child gets home, where were you? Because this is what the paper, this is what the letter says.
Okay.
You know, we just want to be concerned.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I fully agree with you, and I think even if they do a paperless version where they send a text or an email, they should also follow up with a written note, with a printed note.
I'm always happy when I saw you on that radio station. With the young lady beside you, she is so professional. Okay.
You make me look good, not true?
I have an issue here now with the employment.
Okay.
Because I have a problem quite sometimes with Brody's. I don't know what's wrong with Brody's. Brody's is a nice company looking towards underprivileged. I could understand that. But don't take advantage of the underprivileged. Educate them, train them, so that you could get productivity out of them. For you to be just looking at them, using them, and when the time comes that you get tired of them, you just let them go just like that. And we cannot go to the paper department. It is waste of time. It is waste of time. I have an issue sometimes ago where hired were not productive, but they're looking at how they could gain something from the company. And it was difficult for me. I lost my job because of that. These young youths were dealing with garbage, and they stole some stuff out of the company from the shelf, put it in the garbage, and take it to dump site.
That's how they do it.
And now I had bought a sausage. Me and the assistant manager, he bought two, I bought one. I took my receipt and give it to the security. I said I will hold my security, hold my receipt till when we're ready to take my stuff home. She misplaced it, she lost it, and when I decided to take my stuff home, she didn't have my receipt. I took my stuff because I paid for it. But what will happen, because they caught this young youth that they hired who does not have no knowledge of working, found them stealing, because I was a driver at the same time, they put me along with them. It is not fair. And when I went to the labor department and showed them the exact way how I feel about it, 62 years of my life working in our department of this country, I've never, ever
steal.
Never ever failed. Until when I got to go this, it's rare I fail. But
let me ask you this question, brother, because it's a story that I have heard many times. You are a victim of circumstance. But couldn't the supervisor at Brody's, or if not the supervisor at Brody's, the labor, when you went to labor, couldn't they go back to the security person and say, did so-and-so give you a receipt?
Right.
And shouldn't she be honest and say, well, I'm not too sure, but I think he did, or so, at least to not make it look as though you're the lie. Because if you give,
Mr. Nuri, do you hold the song? It's the same way I did it. She went and she said, yes, he did came and he gave me the receipt.
So how they fire you then?
It's the system that they have there, especially when you have good vibes, they don't work with you.
No. You get off. I don't want you to go in a guzo. I don't want you to deal with the facts. They look at this female that said, yes, Mr. Man did give me the receipt, and still they fire you? Still they fire you?
They did. But then, you see, what is your plan? Is your plan.
Yeah.
When you have good vibes out there, they don't accept your vibes. And when you have vibes person, they don't look at you as positive for their company.
My brother, I understand you and I agree with you, but that is the world of the unseen. I am talking about the practical, legal world.
Right. The world of the scene.
If this female said that this gentleman gave me the receipt, and so therefore those things you're accusing him of stealing, he did not steal.
Because he purchased.
You tell me that the company Brody's still fire you, and secondly, that the labor department investigated your case and still maintain that you should be fired?
Well, that's what he did, because I went to him and he said he was going there to look at the video. The video shows that I went for my stuff and I took it, stopped at the security, and I walked out with my stuff. They look at it because the stolen goods that were in the garbage was 3 items. Now it looks to them as if that one for me, one for the 2 other guys. And that's the way how they look at it. Although I mentioned to the management that I'm 64 years old, why must I go to this? If I had known that this is what these guys were doing long before, I would have made a stoppage to it.
my brother, your story is a disappointing one, and that is a high-level company which I respect greatly. They are very charitable to the community. They hire, you know, when the non-Belizeans came in, they started to hire people all over the place. Boris has maintained keeping Belizeans in their floor, working in their consistently. Boris has a good name, whether the northern or downtown. So for you to tell me that you have been unfairly dismissed, it don't sound like the reputation of Brody's at all. So something that just doesn't sound correct to me. And then you tell me that the Labor Department come in
and was
and the
not
woman
helpful.
admit, yes, Mr. Man gave me the receipt for his goods, and you still get fired. It's an unusual story, brother. I know they say it don't happen, and things like this do happen.
I can understand that, because if a lot of people like me did what I did today, you guys at the radio station should have known that. No, this is good on the other side, but there is some part of the management that is not fair. And I will not go more further than this, than leave it that way, but I was just putting my views out there.
All right.
And I wish that everybody who had went through the same thing with me had come and do the same thing.
Yeah.
This would have been solved.
I agree. Is this a recent thing, by the way, bro?
It's a regular thing. A lot of people
I'm asking in your
if
case.
It happened recently.
Did it just happen?
On the 4th of May.
On the 4th of
This
May.
year?
4th of May. That means about a month, a little over a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying that because I'm sure somebody in the Brody circle is hearing your concern, and they'll be able to trace you down and see
look at it.
who got fired on the basis of this, and then you call us back next week and make we know if you got any truth.
And I hope because there are a lot of people who does that happen.
Yeah.
That's the way it happens.
Yeah.
And I hope, and I hope somebody might call and refer back to that same.
Yes, sir. I would hope.
Thank you very much, buddy.
All right. Thank you too, my brother.
You have a blessed one.
Yeah. 19 minutes now after 7. Isn't that interesting?
Never heard that before, but I'm hoping that, as you said, someone is listening and will hear his cry, and that it could be revised. And Labor Department, if you're listening as well, I think a lot of times miscommunication happens, right? A lot of times too, we're not fully aware of the labor laws of Belize, what our rights and responsibilities are, because it's very important to understand that just as your employer is supposed to give you certain things to make you be able to access those things, you need to be compliant with certain sets of rules, right?
But you have to be familiar with those rules,
right?
The company have to make you know.
But the thing is with law, right? Ignorance of the law is no excuse, right? So even if you don't know, you can't say, "Oh, well, I never know." And for those who are interested, the labor laws of Belize are available online, and it's a free PDF. You can access it, download it. It's for the most part in very simple and basic English. And so I would encourage all my Belizean citizens to familiarize yourself with your rights and with your responsibilities as an employee, whether you work in the private or the public sector.
And
very important.
I wouldn't give credence to the statement that the gentleman made that Labor Department is a waste of time. No. Not understanding those rules can be the problem, but if you get a labor officer to come in, or if you go in and see a labor officer, you're supposed to be able to get clarity. And the labor laws are, when you read it, it sounds like it is in the protection of the worker. And so you need to pursue that. However, in everything there is an element of corruption that can come in. And so therefore a labor officer may be forced to turn his eye in the wrong or other direction, rather than really going into the details of your issue. So corruption does exist. But generally my experience with the Labor Department is that they go after pursuing the rights of the labor,
Right.
of the ordinary worker, and we should try and use that, you know.
Yeah, no, we definitely have to know those rules. Interestingly, there was something that happened at the Kobe Foundation the other day, and I was just saying, but then Colin Moore called, and it was a very interesting exchange.
That you had talked
Right. So I think when it comes to the young attorney, I know that she's very familiar with the rules. I know that a lot of times several attorneys have made the claim that they feel, no, because remember this is a feeling, you can't prove that, but they feel that sometimes they're being prevented from seeing their clients. Good counsels know the rules though, so my thing is don't go afoul of the rules and then prevent your own self and see your clients.
Good point.
That said though, I think that Colby could maybe reconsider some of your dress code because fortunately for that attorney, she had a vehicle in the parking lot and even a change of clothes. But for many people who go to the Colby Foundation, I used to go there to visit a very close friend of mine. You take 2 buses and a taxi into Colby.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if you get turned away for an infraction when it comes to dress code, that the like time wasted, your day gone, and whatever food or whatever you brought, you just have to take that back.
And that person waiting in there for you is
Just have to wait till your next time. And the money we're gone too, right?
Exactly.
So I really want to encourage Colby. I mean, Colby is not an easy place to get to, especially if you use public transportation. As you know, it's between Burrell Boom and Hattieville Village. So you could get to Boom or you could get to Hattieville, but you can't get to Colby. So to me, it was fortunate for her, you know, she has the vehicle and the change of clothes, but for many people, when they run afoul of these dress code, the Colby Foundation dress code, it's like a day gone for them. So I know that rules are rules, and I try to bring up the conversation that a lot of times based on your body type, even when you're the wear, because I said they said no form-fitting clothes, but for bigger bodies like myself, or even bigger bodies than mine, sometimes hard to find their loose-fitting clothes. So you're always in that trouble when you go to Colby. So I would just like to ask Colby administration, Mr. Murillo, to maybe try to reconsider some of these. So yeah, consider a dress code, because, for example, in the case of Miss Mendes, she had a skirt that was above the knee, but she had very dark stockings. So it wasn't as if her skin was exposed. So I don't really, I mean, yes, she knows the rules and she's been there many times, but at the same time, I think maybe we have to really, really look into those. Well, I brought it up because I know you have connections at Colby, and maybe this is something that they could look into, because some people, their whole day just gone like that when they can't get in.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it yesterday.
Okay.
And I understand, and I fully agree with the sentiment that you're giving, that what happened in the case of Ms. Mendes was an unfortunate thing, and I felt that some degree of discernment and a little bit of
discretion could have been used,
applied,
right?
On that. But having said that, it's important to understand that wherever prisons exist, that is a controlled environment.
Well, that's true.
That is no longer the society.
Right.
That is another environment.
It's an institution.
And
with
when you go
institutional
in there, it's not that you belong to that institute, but you're under the control and the rules of that area. You can't talk about rules from outside, because this place has its rules. All right. Now, the rules of any institution, while a discretionary aspect of it can be given to who is in charge, ultimately the person who is in charge doesn't have the discretion to decide, okay, I'll make you go. No, I'll make you go. No. Okay. In an institution, especially an established institution like the prison, there are prison rules. All right? So, that Ms. Mendes should have known, based on those rules, but I turn around because I can't come in here.
Right.
And if she tries to come in there based against those rules, that's why she would get turned back. Because She, as an attorney, should be familiar, this is the dress code.
Right.
All right, that's number one. However, discretion again is very important here. You cannot, under any circumstance, prevent, and I went back and I checked on this, you cannot prevent an attorney from access to their client.
Right.
And while the dress code is an issue, the bigger issue is putting any obstacle that will prevent an attorney to be able to meet her clients and give them their rights according to the law. So that's where it became a little fuzzy. Yeah.
Right.
Because, and perhaps there may need to be even a ministry who is in charge of the prison to let it be known that while Colby is a management of the prison, it is not a private prison. It is not like in the United States where you have these private prisons where I am totally in charge. Not the law of California, law of New York. I am in charge. That's not Colby. Colby is the Belize Central Prison under the prison rules of Belize. Colby, some years, I believe it's about 15 years now, was given the management
of that
because prior to that there were so many structural issues that were in need of support. And the government, while it was supporting the prison under Bernard Adolphus, it was always short. It was always short. For example, because I was there, the infrastructure was deteriorating and prisoners were escaping almost every week because of the infrastructure that government was not putting sufficiently in to ensure that the place was always secure. So Bernard Adolphus in the prison got a bad reputation. Oh, Lord, they always escape from anybody. What you doing? When you do something about? And then here comes Dickie Bradley that says to the cabinet, I have got an arrangement here with Mr. John Woods and the Rotary Club, and they are willing to come in along with the Catholics, and they will run a rehabilitation program. John Woods, who was deeply involved in construction, will take his construction company and he will rebuild the prison, which he has done. That's an excellent structure that exists in the prison now. I've been to the Caribbean and I can tell you, ours is a well-structured, very open, very, as I say, healthy. You could breathe. I've been in some of the institutions and I mean no country, man, you don't even want to go in and in prison because their prisons are like dungeons.
Right.
Not here. And then what Colby did by pardoning with the Catholic, Father Stokel was a major influencer in that time. He began to institute structural training programs that had a spiritual content to it. And they had the corporation also of Rotary, who partnered with their Rotarians abroad. And so you had this about 15 or 20 years ago, this real effort to come in and reform and reshape the prison system. Now at that time, the prison population was about 1,500. And the word was that with this new effort and these rehabilitation efforts and the high recidivism rate that we're dealing with, recidivism means going out and coming right
back,
that we are going to be able to reduce that. We're going to be able to bring that prison population down perhaps to maybe even 500 or 400. Meaning we are getting rid of 1,000 people because of the structure and the change of management.
Right.
There has been much improvement in the prison system. The population has not gone down significantly because it's still over 1,000. The restructuring of the prison has been excellent because you've seen, as I said, the infrastructure has improved significantly. There is now a board of citizens that look over the prison to ensure that things are supposed to be run correctly. But there is still a gulf between the ministry, the government, and the management of the prison itself. And significantly, the management of prison has been, to my observation, been pretty much left up to one single individual. And that one single individual, while he's my friend, he's a person who I think loves and is doing what he's doing because he loves doing what he's doing. There are areas, there are gray areas, and he and I have talked. There are gray areas that do need to be looked at. So when I saw this matter with Ms. Mendez, I said, see, this again. And many attorneys, if they're courageous enough to call, will tell you that what Ms. Mendez has gone through, they have also experienced it. This is not a female thing or a Ms. Mendez thing. All right? This is why I was concerned when she was saying some conspiracy that, oh, this is because of these people that I am representing that is against the parole. But no. It's just the way in which we use discretion when it comes to the rules of the prison. And prison rule number 1, you don't keep attorneys away from their clients. Under what circumstances? In fact, I'll tell you, Sister Katie, they even provide certain special rooms.
So they can meet.
They got some high-profile people back there, you know.
Oh, yes.
So we ought not to think that what happened to Ms. Mendez is something personal. It's an issue that needs to be addressed in a professional way. I think we got to take off.
Right. So I do want to thank Fort Point Security for our 2 cents scam. Thank you for sponsoring our 2 cents scam. So we'll do that. We'll have a break. Callers, I see you, but I will encourage you to call after the break. So stay with us.
You're watching WUB and this is XTV and a Big Up Friday. Somebody could big up some people on the Friday. Let's go get some big up. So, Big Up Friday, who you want big up? Or where you want big up?
We want big up place you order because we have turkey dinner tomorrow, $15. Real ham, Christmas ham, turkey, and a dessert.
That midday today,
midday lunch, yes.
All right.
Pick up and ready for 11 o'clock. So for 11 you could come pick up your food.
That place you order?
That place you order. 614-4302 if you want to order your turkey. Still have
that your big up?
That my big up.
All right.
Then big up for DJ, Reggae Sundays, back in the house. Well, not Sundays, Blazing Reggae Thursdays. Back in at the place, you don't know. Big up Tony G.
All right.
Big up myself.
Big up
Brother? Yes, sir. I big up my old boy, Joseph Richards. Man work, city council, so much years. Man bring me through school, everything. Now I do my one little thing here. I try to get back to the man, because the man got me alive. They move the breed. Good.
That Father's Day, big up.
Well, big up Father's Day, everybody, all fathers.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I would like to big up my dad, Louis Mavitt. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
All right.
Brothers Abet is celebrating Super Handy Dads for the entire month of June with super handy deals that just can't be beaten. Give that super handy dad the perfect gift from our super selection, like 15% off all power tools and hand tools store-wide, 15% off track car batteries, 20% off Eureka Vats, 20% off Decon Matte Emulsion, and 25% off Valspar and Dutch Boy paints. Plus, for every $50 you spend, get a chance to win $500 worth of tools for 3 super special dads. So give dad his best Father's Day gift yet from Brothers Abet. Come in or reach out to us today. Brothers Abet wishes all super handy dads a super happy Father's Day.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning-fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a Lone Ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
Babe, I'm going out to pay the water bill.
You don't need to go out. You could pay it from your phone. Look.
Babe, the credit card bill. I'll go pay it.
You can also pay it with your phone.
Babe,
Yes, love?
I need to go deposit the baby serious pay.
You really want to go out, don't you? It's okay. I will make the transfer and you go play ball.
With Atlantic Bank Mobile, your personal banking experience is easier and more convenient. Bank your way with any of our digital channels and save time for what matters most.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Make light work lighter and quicker with Switch technology from Axi Power Tools. Axi Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axi line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axi Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Belizeans all around planet Earth, this is a roll call. A roll call for all Belizeans living abroad. In a world that is becoming more uncertain and unstable, children and descendants of the Belizean soil must find common ground and align. Mark the date and make your plans. June 19th to June 22nd, 2024 at the Marriott Airport Hotel, Los Angeles, California. It's the historic first ever Belize Diaspora Summit. This summit will feature panel discussions featuring leading diaspora leaders and achievers. The Belize American Chamber of Commerce will host its annual business forum. There is a special delegation from the Ministry of Natural Resources to facilitate land queries for those in the diaspora, and a grand gala event to cap the Belize Diaspora Summit 2024. For registration and for more details, email info@BelizeDiasporaSummit.com or BIF 2024 California.eventbrite.com.
The Office of the Prime Minister invites you to the National MSME Roadshow 2024. Join us for free workshops in marketing using AI, finance, business planning, and customer service. Connect with financial institutions for access to finance
Creme FM, XTV, WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on this Friday, the 14th of June 2024. 7:45 a.m. My name is Numi, Usher. I'm here with Nuri Mohammed, and we have been joined by guests because if you never know, we have for the very first time a Fisher Women Association. A correct or wrong?
Yes.
Yes, I know.
First.
Right. So, to talk to us about that, we have Miss Rana Lam-Lewis, the Assistant Country Director of the Marine Program for Wildlife Conservation Society. Thanks for that assist. And we also have Miss Jan Humes.
No. That's World Wildlife Fund.
Yeah. No, I didn't mix up my NGOs. That will happen just now. Right. And then we also have Ms. Jan Humes, who's the Assistant Fisheries Officer of the Fisheries Department of Belize. I want to welcome you both.
Thank you.
This is still y'all Fisher Folk Month, the all June. We had WCS last week, and they talked to us about some of the activities planned. They got a lot of activities, right? But this is a very exciting initiative, so I want to welcome you both to our audience. The number for you to participate in this morning's conversation, as again, is 280-5848. I'm getting a little note here from my co-host says, thank you, Mike Feinstein, and good morning for your support. The reason why I would say thanks is because for those who may have not seen or heard any of the ads, WUB is moving all the way to Los Angeles, California, USA next week, because there is the Diaspora Summit. Unless you've been living under a rock or you switch off when the ads come on, you know that next week we will be at the LAX Marriott, the Los Angeles Marriott from the 19th to the 22nd of June, right? So please, if you are in LA County, make your way over to Los Angeles. If you're there further away and you want to be a part of that, there's an Eventbrite, you can sign up. All of the information up on the website, Diaspora Summit, right? So look for it, as you Google it, you put it in, it comes up.
But I just want to, and I thank you for saying it, but Mike Feinstein is helping us in this event, and I want to acknowledge that because he is also a part of Fort Point Security and also Port Coral, who have been sponsoring many different programs on crime. So I want to highlight that as a corporate citizen, Mike Feinstein has been doing wonders to try to make sure, and he doesn't do it for quid pro quo or want this from it, no. He does it because he recognizes that there's a value in what we present here, and he has been encouraging by putting your money where your mouth there.
And we appreciate that very much because remember, all their monies need to come in. But we're going to switch over from monies and we're going to talk about this Fisher Women Association, which is a brand new initiative. So we got experts to talk to us about that. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I'd say for over 6 years, this will be the 7th one, but over 6 years, Wildlife Conservation Society, along with our partners, have been convening what we call the Women in Fisheries Forum. And that basically came out of the idea. My colleague at the time, that Cassandra Grant, was implementing a project through the Fisheries Department. And it had a big social component of it. And one of the things that we observed is that the voice of women who are engaged in the fisheries sector isn't being heard. There isn't that recognition. You know, oftentimes, like we always say, when we think about fishing, we think about the men on the boat. Exactly, but there's so many activities that are involved in that product reaching your table, right? So what we're looking at is that, you know, even when you look at the statistics, we'll say, okay, roughly around 3 to 7% of licensed commercial fishers are women. And so people might say, oh, that's a small number, you know, well engaged. But besides them being fisher folk, there's also other activities that they're involved with, preparing for the trip, you know, the marketing, the sales, the processing. If you go to the cooperatives or any other fish markets, these are the women who are involved in the processing component of it. So there's there's various roles that they're playing within that sector. And hence the reason why we started the Women in Fisheries Forum, just to bring recognition to the role that women are playing and remove that layer of invisibility that they have within the sector, so people are able to recognize that they are a valued stakeholder within this particular sector. The forum basically provides this space for women to share their voice their concerns, their interests. How do they see the sector moving towards? So that's the whole premise behind having the forum, right? And like I said, we've been having it for 6 years. The last one was in Sartineja Village. And the decision was made by the women in attendance that they want to form a National Women in Fisheries Association. And hence the reason this year for the forum, that is what we're looking at. The theme is, leave no one behind in creating and building an enabling environment for our small-scale artisanal fisheries, and that is what we're aiming to do, ensuring that inclusivity within the sector.
I'm living.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, okay. My part in fisheries, I will speak on fisheries in terms of women in fisheries, of course, and with gender. So as Ms. Rowland mentioned, the Fisheries Department have had a long-standing partnership with WCS, and as she mentioned, this is the 7th year we'll be having the Women in Fisheries, and for me it is a period of momentous change since we will not have an association.
Right.
So
that's exciting. It is. I mean, congrats to you and all your partners. It's a very exciting initiative.
Yes, and apart from it just being in looking at small-scale fisheries, it is important to highlight the significance of women and their role within the fisheries sector. So Fisheries Department, in collaboration with the WCS, we are here to support and assist these wonderful women in establishing the association, and of course for them to have a platform for advocacy, and like she mentioned, to have a voice and be able to speak their issues and their collaboration.
What are some of the issues that women in the fisheries industry would have that are very specific to their needs and concerns?
Okay, one of the main things is that they're not engaged when it comes to the management of the sector. Like I would say, when I went to school,
but isn't
Miss Wade, yes.
She's at the top.
Yes, the fisheries administrator who is now at the Blue Economy, Blue Bonds unit, right? But yes, Miss Wade speaks on behalf of the government, that perspective, right? No, as a fisher folk, it's the same thing with me. I come from the conservation background, right? So even though I'm here talking about the Women Fisheries Forum and so on, the perspective that a woman who's engaged in that sector brings is different from what I'm doing.
Right.
So hence the reason, like I'm saying, that, that's one of the major things that they're saying in terms of having a voice, a seat when it comes to some of the management decisions.
So no women are sitting on nowhere in the management?
We have advisory committees for a lot of these MPAs that we do have some women sitting on, but then you also have like the Fisheries Advisory Board and so on. You have the associations that women sit on, but they're saying, sometimes it's like you're a part of the association, but your voice still isn't being heard. You're there, but it's like, okay, it's like a noise in the background.
What are some of the main issues that you're trying to get the association to hear over the years that they haven't heard that would change if you were sitting in the management?
Okay, so for the women, right, for them to be in that management perspective, like there's certain regulations and management decisions that are made that do not take into consideration how it would affect a woman involved in the sector. Like you have different regulations that are in place. And there's, when it comes to certain gears and certain things that, would be restricted or prohibited, but when these certain regulations are passed, how do we engage with women involved in processing? Because obviously those regulations will impact what type of product they're receiving, the frequency and so on, and that at the end of the day affect their ability to generate that specific income. So we need to think about that, those involved in processing. Then another issue is that when a lot of times there's a lot of grants and funds being given out to folks involved in the sector, and it targets primarily those who are doing the fishing, the act of fishing, right? But then when you look at the household, you have the women, the children, younger, older children and so on. If you want to provide a space whereby you're telling those involved in the sector, look at these different avenues that you could generate an income, and you need to look at the household as well. So that there's that burden that gets reduced from that person doing the fishing. You have other persons within the household who are able to generate that income. So those are some of the things that the association wants to look at. Look at the community. Fishing is a family and a community activity. It's not one person involved in it. So when you look at it, you need to target all of those individuals involved in it.
I think we definitely, when we think about invisibilization, as you mentioned, even in policy, I think we take it as maybe an afterthought or even an oversight that like, well, we say fisher folk. In fact, now we're saying Fisher Folk Month. But like you said, there is very specific needs of women in fisheries. And when I say fisheries, not just fishing, but women in fisheries as an industry. So maybe, Jan, you could talk to us a bit about that.
Well, I was about to mention when you said policy, under the Ministry of Blue Economy, at the time it was Civil Aviation, now Disaster Risk Management. There was a gender analysis to coastal zone and fisheries sector project. I believe it was under Green Climate Fund, if I'm not mistaken. And from that consultancy from the coastal areas, they concluded and have a gender strategy action plan, ME, framework, which is to see the climate resilience come to when it comes to the fisheries sector, the marine ecosystems, but to include the perspective of not only men but women and youths. So that was what was concluded from the consultancy, and it is a project that is implemented between, well, the Ministry of Blue Economy, Fisheries and Coastal Zone, and it's 5 years, I believe, from 2022 to 2027.
Very good. Very good. So how, apart from the forum, and as again, like I said, congratulations on this initiative to have an association, what do you see as some of the benefits that come from having an association? Because now you have a specific woman in fisheries voice that this association will deal with or, you know, concern itself with.
Well, apart from leadership, for me, apart from leadership and being able to advocate and have decision making, it will also give them give them the ability of being inclusive when it comes to either harvesting the resources or utilizing the resources. So like what Ms. Valna mentioned, it's not only with leadership and being able to be around the table and have a say so, but also having the ability to go out and be able to extract and not have the limitations then of being a woman.
Perfect. Yep. Ms. Valna?
Yeah, I agree with what Jan is saying. You know, the association, we're really focusing on, you know, bringing that whole perspective of, look, fishing is not only the act of going out on the sea. It's all of these activities, and you need to take into consideration all of these players that are involved with it. If you're really aiming to create a sustainable fisheries sector, you know, one that is beneficial to everyone involved, then you need to target all of these different, you know, persons involved. And, you know, one of the things that women will always say, like, for processing and so on, we can't get access to these funds, we can't get access to these grants. Sometimes we want to shift from processing and we want to get into something else involved in the sector, but they're not making that fund available to us. You know, we see things in tourism or in, you know, hospitality and so on that we want to get into, and we're hoping that with this, then we're able to, you know, bring that light to what they're doing and have funds for them to access to be able to make that shift.
Because this is how, like you said, the benefit of an association, where you have a specific voice with it there and look after that. Definitely we have to think climate crisis or climate change, because that they change fishers patterns, that they change the fishing industry, as we could say. We got all this sargassum, we got different things. So again, do you think, or maybe you could share with our audience, you know, what are some of the benefits of having a very specific voice to even look into how, you know, fishing patterns have to change, or even how we cohabit with the environment have to change because of climate crisis?
Yeah, so there are several other initiatives involved. One of them is there's a livelihoods initiative, I think, that a lot of NGOs are currently involved in. And one of them is to look at resilient livelihoods. Because obviously we see this heat that's been affecting us, and
we can only see it with the feeling.
Exactly. And from last year there was warning. We had a lot of coral bleaching events occurring and so on, and obviously that would affect your sector.
So we should know.
Exactly, right? So, you know, we've been in the communities and we're looking at what would be possible shifts that they could bring about resilient livelihoods. And I mean, there's a lot of talk about tourism, but obviously tourism again is reliant on our ecosystem health.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, people are invested in that, and we're targeting both women and youth involved in the sector. And you know, our youth are so much want to get in the hospitality aspect of it. You know, they're not necessarily want to go back out and continue fishing, but a lot of them want to provide other type of services that would be good for you know, persons coming into the country.
Yeah.
So you know, it's getting people, and you know, another part of it is also looking at restoration activities that could occur within these communities that would help to build your resilience or help you to adapt to the impacts of climate change. So that is another avenue that we're looking at in terms of some of the areas that are severely affected by coastal erosion.
Yes.
Also looking at some of the work that has been doing with coral restoration. How can these outplantings be done at other MPAs? You know, if you have resilient coral.
MPAs, you mean?
Marine protected areas.
Right. For those who don't know the acronym. And I know the round of fisheries lingo, right? But for the rest of it, I appreciate that clarity. Thanks.
I'm really learning from this conversation because the fisheries areas, there was a time that I used to work in it with the co-op in Placencia. But as I listened to this young man named Piper that came in to do the inquiry in the industry.
The chairman and the commissioner inquiry.
Yeah, he said something very interesting, and I wonder if we could apply it to this. He said instead of looking at the sugar industry from the sugar, we want to take it back and look at the sugar cane.
The plant.
Because when we go to the plant, we're talking about the small person, and we're going all the way up to these big, you know,
refineries,
right, and BSI. So I was wondering if, looking at your sector, and also what you said just now about associations get more concrete what they want. I was wondering if women in fisheries is too broad a perspective that, and I understand, you know, philosophically what we talk about is that a lot of people they in at this thing, but to get things done, it would seem to me that under this umbrella you have room for more than one association that can focus more specifically. Take for example, I always remembered in the fisheries that the women are the main processors, but there were men there too. But women were the main processors, whether it was Northern, whether it was National, whether it was Placencia, all of them had women processors. Couldn't there be an association of processors that looks out specifically for processors? They're under the umbrella of women, you know, but specifically for their agenda. And then you have, and I don't want to get ridiculous, but you have women who have to be preparing for sending those men out in the mornings. There's also not necessarily an association, but there's a common connection between that group. Then you got the people there out there by market where they sell fish, and you know, and then they hustle the fish. But they are a major part. Some of them used to be fishermen or fisherwomen, and they are also a part of this industry and also need some attention to what's going on down there by Conchel Bay. So I'm wondering if is it too, what I'm suggesting is ridiculous, or can we make that happen?
Let me explain. So the Women in Fisheries Association represents different persons involved. We have our processors, we have women who do homestay. These are the women who stay at home, you know, when the men go out.
Have their own association?
There's an umbrella association. They have their groups that they form. What the association has done is this. We are asking each of these groups. You have your homestay group, you have your processing group, you have your group in Danguga who are fishing and so on. Select a representative from each of your group. And through this voting process, then we're able to identify who will make up the executive committee. But all of these representatives that you're selecting from your group obviously has a role to play within the association, and then pass that information back to the groups that they're representing. Right? The thing is this, in fisheries management, you have your science component of it, obviously, but as conservationists, we can't, like I always tell people, you not tell the fish not eat the bait or not get in the net or whatever. Right. We help to manage the relationship that people have with the resources that they're extracting. And that is the reason, like a lot of time people say, but you're not a development organization, you're conservation based, but yes, we still need to look at the relationships that people are having with the resource as well as among themselves. Hence the reason why, you know, we assist with forming associations, with working with the cooperatives and so on. I mean, and there's only so much we can do, you know, based on the work that we're doing. So that is one step that we're making regarding that Women in Fisheries Association, ensuring that these different groups have representation, right?
Right. It's very important. So you said there's also a forum this year. They mentioned it last week, but can you remind, for those who would be interested, where the forum
Yes, so we already sent out the invitations to those persons who will be attending, and it's in Hopkins Village that we're having it this year, the 17th and the 18th, on Monday and Tuesday. And like I said, the highlight would be forming the executive committee, and then we're also having other presentations there from, for example, DFC. They're talking about their official loan program that they have.
Pretty cool.
And also the launch of an innovation fund, which is for women-led community groups to look at exactly what we mentioned about climate change, look at restoration activities that can be done in these communities to help to address the impacts of climate change.
So very, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have a lot to do in like what, 2 days? Jump agenda. Right.
Can I just, I'm gonna try to be provocative, but things are coming to my mind as I remember about 20 years ago, remember Pete Vasquez had a project up in Belize River Valley where they were processing cattle.
In Belize?
Yes, I used to love to eat that. And the cattle.
Local cattle or those catfish that you used to have in the States? Because one thing in my part, you can't, you know, my farmer and tell a man this as wild, free range catfish. He don't want that. Because in his mind, he only see that as cattle from Belize Canal. So just make you know which one you're talking.
Well, that would throw me off when they first asked me if I want some catfish.
Oh my gosh. Cattle? We don't eat that.
I just think about this is the same fish, but coming out of the Belize River.
So this was a catfish farming initiative.
And they were making money. So the reason I'm asking you this is, are we considering river fishers in this, and they are part of the system?
Yes, from Lebanon, we do have inland fishers who are part of the association.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay,
yep.
That's very good. And I would recommend catfish, just not call it cattle, but catfish, man, it's so soft, the texture. Am I right, Mr. Nice. Anyway.
And just to add,
that's the name, you don't want to touch it. But,
just to add, we're also, involved in the group, we're also looking at women who do like value added, like people who look at seaweed farming and so on. We're also trying to target them. But like I said, it's a start. And we always ask the women, we don't know everyone. If you know someone else, please tell us, inform us, and then we work on see how we could get them involved as well.
And they are the main processors in the farming industry too. I mean, when I'm talking about the fish farming industry.
Right. So, as again, thank you very much for coming here to share with our audience, to let them know what's happening. Like Ms. Ralna said, if you know about anybody in your community who could benefit from either the forum or especially this association, please reach out. Please, there's WCS, there's also the Fisheries Department. These are available to you, and we want you to use them, not just in our Fisher Folk Month, but like how we have a special focus. You know, it's a good opportunity for us to, you know, get engaged and see how we could tap back in. Maybe some people used to corner forum, but then maybe stop corner forum, or could come back the forum. Please make sure, you know, because we want to have all this information, like you said, different sustainability techniques that you're looking at, marketing techniques, information. We want everybody to have access to this. Right, so I don't know if there's anything else you want to share before we leave.
I just wanted to also say that's one of the challenges, the participation, the inclusivity, because like Ms. Ralna we want to increase visibility to see all the women who is actually a part of the fisheries sector. So please come out and please reach out.
Right.
Yep. Very good.
No, they one handful of Hopkins and they even call me. Remember, you could call to the phone work 2 ways. They could call you or you could call them.
Can we get a phone number?
Yes, sir. Our number is 223-3271. That's our office number if you want to reach out to us. Yes.
And then you have all the social media.
Yes,
when they
yes,
reach out
223
3271.
3271. And that's the Wildlife Conservation Society.
Okay.
Right.
Do they need to call you too?
Fisheries Department?
Yes, the Fisheries Department, but I can give you the number afterwards.
Definitely remember to all of these organizations, both these organizations have their information online. Yep. So you just tap in the name into Google and it brings up whether their social media platforms and or their numbers, because we want to be a part of this, right? We value and want you to participate, not just to Fisher Folk Month, but especially for Fisher Folk Month. Right, so.
Well, thank you very much for being here. It's been informative.
Right.
You're very articulate in explaining it and answered the questions in terms of really provocative questions.
Sure, no problem. Thank you as well.
We appreciate that very much. We'll take our next break and we'll be right back.
Power on with confidence. Design Depot brings you an attractive selection of GE appliances, including microwaves, washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, countertop appliances, and more. We understand the importance of appliances that not only endure, but also excel in performance. As your trusted GE USA authorized dealer, we stand for reliability and performance, ensuring that you can power on with confidence. Visit us today and power on with efficient, reliable, and energy-saving solutions with GE appliances from Design Depot.
Design Depot, all in one place.
Belizeans all around planet Earth, this is a roll call for all Belizeans living abroad. In a world that is becoming more uncertain and unstable, children and descendants of the Belizean soil must find common ground and align. Mark the date and make your plans. June 19th to June 22nd, 2024 at the Marriott Airport Hotel, Los Angeles, California. It's the historic first ever Belize Diaspora Summit. This summit will feature panel discussions featuring leading diaspora leaders and achievers. The Belize America Chamber of Commerce will host its annual business forum. There is a special delegation from the Ministry of Natural Resources to facilitate land queries for those in the diaspora, and a grand gala event to cap the Belize Diaspora Summit 2024. For registration and for more details, email info@BelizeDiasporaSummit.com or BIF 2024 California.eventbrite.com.
Upcoming enhancements to My Social Security. The new healthcare provider feature seamlessly connects healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers to facilitate the payment of sickness benefits. Here are the enhancements. Registered healthcare providers will create and submit online medical certificates using their healthcare provider accounts. Insured persons will receive a link to view the medical certificate to complete and submit their sickness benefit claim. And employers will receive an email notification of their employee's sickness claim. Also, the insured person and their employer will receive a copy of the claim decision letter after review. Healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers are encouraged to create a portal account to access and benefit from these new services on My Social Security at ssbportal.org.bz. My Social Security online portal. Social Security at your fingertips.
In a world driven by technology, the Digi Scholarship Program opens doors to endless possibilities. Welcome to the Digi Scholarship Program, where dreams meet innovation and knowledge transforms into action.
I'm Shelly Nicole, and being a recipient of the Digi Scholarship Program has helped me do my best throughout the 4 years of high school. I felt that the financial burden on my family was at ease with one less bill to pay and one to worry about. Of course, this scholarship held expectations for me, but that never weighed me down. If anything, it made me work harder to show my true potential. The support from the Digi Scholarship Program not only relieved financial strain, but also instilled a sense of responsibility and determination in me to further excel academically. As I prepare to graduate, I am grateful for the opportunities this scholarship has provided, and I'm eager to continue striving for success in the future.
Join the Digi Scholarship Program today and embark on a journey of empowerment, education, and excellence. Visit our website to learn more about how you can be a part of this life-changing opportunity. Apply now and unlock your potential with Digi. Digi, our national telecom.
When you get your prescription, what are the best place to go?
Freetown Drugstore.
Bam City.
When the drugstore then close up the night and on Sunday and holidays, which one open?
Freetown Drugstore.
Bam City.
When you need somebody to talk to about your medication, who you are turn to?
Bam City.
We have been serving the general public for more than 30 years with fast, professional, and efficient services. We will continue doing so with honesty, integrity, and consistency.
This is the loyal Freetown Drugstore crew, always happily serving the general public at 28 Freetown Road, Belize City. Telephone 223-2876.
welcome back to Creme FM and XTV WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes on this Friday, the 14th of June, 2024. It is 8:23 a.m. My name is Numi Usher, and I've now been joined by some guests. I don't know, I put my little cue card somewhere. So I have Dr. Barrett to my right. And I also have Miracle Matura, Kaylin Martinez, Ibeme Martinez. And you are all the way from Sinbite, so welcome to Belize City, welcome to Baka Zinc. Good to have you here, and we are discussing Gary Youth.
Right, we're talking about the Garifuna, the Indigenous Youth Progress Nest. We're having a conference this weekend, and we wanted the country to know a little bit about us and what we're doing and how these beautiful students are involved.
Okay.
So the Youth Indigenous Progress Nest is a wraparound service that we offer to students from St. Mite and Georgetown Village to facilitate their emotional development and their success in high school. So through the program, we offer all kinds of support. We keep in touch with the students, we track them. We have mentors in the school who stay in touch with them so that if they have any issues during the course of the semester, even if they don't come to the mentor, we see them, we find them, and we deal with things before they get worse.
And that's so essential to being, you know, that high school time. It's a very tumultuous time with you find out yourself. There are a lot of changes. Emotionally, there are a lot of changes. What I am pleased by is that this is a focus on Indigenous youth.
Exactly. Right, very much so, because even as recently as the fact sheet by Ministry of Education for 2022-23, students of the South are performing the least in the country. Okay. Right? So services other than academic services are needed. We also have the highest dropout rates in the area. I was surprised to find out that their pregnancy rates, that hasn't gone anywhere. And so there are a lot of social issues that are not being addressed.
Right.
So our take is to deal more directly with students and empower them to take responsibility for their decisions.
Right.
Right. So even though we got the spot to be here, in Belize, we're always adults are the ones speaking. I feel that we have to have make our students start to have their own voice to represent themselves. You know,
fully agree.
So because if we speak around and above them and don't give them the power to be able to say that they can speak for themselves. Absolutely. You know, and this is why they were so shy to come on this show, because we don't let them know that it's okay, their voice is respected.
Right.
Yeah.
But we do have 3 youths here in I must say, I like on the shirts. They are very bright. So yes, welcome back to Zinc, and share with our audience what you're about, what you're into. Maybe if you want to get into your joys or challenges at high school, I would love to hear. High school for me, I'm like 20 plus years ago, so I know things change since then. A lot of things change.
Well, the Gary program is an institution which we are part of in Indigenous Youth Progress Nest. Within that nest, it is not only about helping students academically, but also mental and emotional as well. As teenagers, we have a lot of problems coming out to school, bullying, homework, etc. And Miss Anita has been a constant provider and help to us. In high school, you need a lot of computers, for example, homeworks, internet, and some of us don't have the financial help to buy those stuff.
Right.
Miss Anita has provided a variety of computers for our students, which help us a lot.
That's amazing, by the way. I like that.
Well, Miss Anita has taught us about the language, about the food, our history. We learned a lot from Miss Anita. Well, personally, me, I didn't know much about our language, but Miss Anita has taught me so much, and I really appreciate it.
Which language?
The Garifuna language.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're teaching people?
You
teach me?
Yes, yes. And the students keep calling my name, but I have never been alone in this. It's always a team of us, because I always find partners that help us. We, the GARIU, the Indigenous Youth Progressness is one of GARIU programs.
Okay.
The other one is the Garifuna Language and Culture Summer Camp. That's a 2-week camp that happens every year. This year it's going to be from July 22nd to August 3rd. And that is a full language, and we not only do we focus on language and culture, but also citizenship.
Oh.
So yeah. So we do it virtues of self-reliance.
Right.
You know.
Being a good citizen.
Yes. And so on. So that's big.
Language camp is for young people.
That's for anyone who wants to come.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I teach basic language, but it can be for anyone who does not speak language. So if you don't speak the language and you're 30 and a 6-year-old doesn't speak it, your language need is exactly the same. Yeah.
Maybe my language is more than 6-year-old because little kids, they pick up things like that.
And then the second language teaching strategies work across the board. And sometimes the children learn it faster than the adults.
Always the children learn faster than the adults. That brain is so susceptible to new things, and that's why it's good that you're putting good things in there. So, what about you, Miracle?
Miss Aneta taught us to not forget about our ancestors. She taught us positive things. She don't let us. She let us believe in ourselves and don't let no one bring us down. She have positive thoughts about everyone.
I love that.
Well, this is like a Miss Anita.
the good thing is, but the good thing about it, and like you said, there's a whole group of you that's behind what you're doing. But I think, especially for Indigenous youth, Western education is not about that. It's not about telling you your history, your ancestors, your Indigenous language, your Indigenous ways of being, and like you said, not just your homework, but how you're being, how you feel. You understand? There's a whole world out there that is anti-Indigenous practice as far as our liberty, how we experience worlds, how we learn, so I need to congratulate this initiative. I didn't know about this initiative. My mom is Garifuna, my dad is Creole, but definitely there's a whole part of my Indigenous history that is missing. And one of the biggest ones, one of the biggest barriers is language. So I'm glad that you do have a language component, because it's so important that speaking of your Indigenous language, because it's a way of how you are, right? It's a way of how you experience the world, and it's a way of how you will connect, as you said, to those very same ancestors. Because I always think about how do I communicate with my Garifuna ancestors if maybe they never talk English or Creole? Maybe they were just speaking Garifuna. Because I know my elders, when they were still here, before they transition, when they're talking or when they go to market or when they do whatever it was prayer circle, they never really much English or here or any.
It's mostly Garifuna.
Right.
But not to belabor this point, but usually, for example, if you're possessed by the spirit, like in a thing, you just speak, you will just start speaking the language. This has happened, right? So I think that your ancestors are with you, they understand you, and they're communicating with you if you give them the space to do so. So one of the responsibilities of GARIU, for example, is to not only provide support for students, but also to provide for our Garinagu in the diaspora, not only Belize, our own form of education that we can add to standard education that suits our people. Because right across the diaspora, wherever Garinagu live, we are at the bottom of the economic barrel in all the countries. We are very marginalized in all the countries where we live. And as a people, we tend to maybe find a kind of comfort zone, or society is making us feel comfortable being there. Like in St. Bite, for example, there's all kinds of development happening on the peninsula. If you go on that peninsula, a lot of development.
North of you and south of you.
North of us, south of us, but for us, minimal impact. Minimal impact. And then now the attitude is to make us feel like that is okay. So what we want to show our young people is that if things are to change, you you guys. You have to change the way you think about yourself, the way you feel about yourself. You can't allow them to tell us what you are worth or what your community should look like. You have to take responsibility for that and create the changes. You can't let them make you think that it's okay to drop out of high school so you can go sweep their restaurant floor. You need to show them you can own your restaurant.
Right,
you know?
and you decide what happens in yours.
Right, and more recently, the hotel, the industry on the peninsula, they're busing in other indigenous or other peoples onto the peninsula to give them the jobs.
Right, so even they're in seeing the yes.
No, because secondary marginalized. Right? And so what happened to our youth? Our youth, we parents invest in education and we send them to the same kind of education, the same kind of education that does not prepare them for the labor force, the same kind of education that that makes them feel like it's okay to complete high school and do nothing, because they complete high school but they do not emerge with any kind of marketable skill. They don't even emerge with soft skills.
Right. And that, like you said, that's an issue that I would say is prevalent in the entire Belizean education system, because I remember when I left high school, I was fortunate enough that I got a scholarship. I could have gone to sixth form and my mom did the rest, but honestly, you start to think, if I have to enter the workforce, what can I actually do in the workforce? Not that much. So I think this is a beautiful initiative. Like I said again, I really value your connection to Garifuna diaspora, not just here in Belize, but outside, because that in itself too is an indigenous way of life. These borders that were placed, this to Guatemala, this to Belize, this to Nicaragua, this to Honduras, right? Those cut us in pieces and separate us, but if we can connect into ourselves,
that's one of our
we
purposes.
Can assist, right?
Because I traveled to Nicaragua because I do teacher training for teachers here to show them how to teach the Garifuna language.
Right.
I did the same thing in Nicaragua as well, because we have people in Nicaragua, St. Vincent, they want to learn the language. They want to revive the language. Belize and Honduras, we're doing better than most of our Garinagu counterparts. So it is our responsibility to stop operating in isolation.
Right.
You know, so our purpose, Gary Youth's objective, is to kind of keep us connected in these efforts.
Right. Well, this is the first time we meet, but I'm really hoping it's not the last time that we'll meet. Right, and I'm looking forward to these three, very forward-thinking and so, such beautiful youth. And when I say beautiful, I don't just mean, on the looks, but also, how to present to myself and how to think. And I really want to congratulate, I love the South. My mom is originally from Penny, Punta Gorda. And it's time that we value the South, we give the South all the things that it needs, and I got a lot of love for St. Bite.
Thank you so much.
Kaina Martinez, my cousin, is from St. Bite. I know she does her track and field program. And big love to you, Kaina, all the time. What you do for Belize Athletics, but also what you do as a Garifuna woman. Big respect to you. So like I said, first time, but hopefully not the last time, right? So maybe closer to the time when you're having the language workshop,
in the
you come back on it.
Exactly.
We talk about it again.
So for Saturday, we want to say thank you to our facilitators. We have the Belize Coast Guard will be there. The BDF will also be there. Mr. Marin from Information Technology. These are the careers that we'll be exposing the students to. Nana Mensa will be the
footballer?
No.
Oh, next Nana Mensa. I was like, wait, hold on.
Agriculture engineer.
Gotcha.
Agriculture engineer, because we also want the students to be involved and be conscious of agriculture as a career.
We experience climate change and climate crisis. This is when we need to move our agriculture with the engineering and sort things out.
And that is why we're also having fragments of hope to kind of give them advice on how they could get a career in marine biology.
I love that.
And Garinagu are coastal people. So we
invite the coastal people too. I mean, if you could work the yard, we do with that.
We need more professionals in marine biology who can help us preserve our coastal plains, you know.
Right.
So so we want to say thank you. We also have Dr. Mavida, who came all the way from Oklahoma State University to speak on a career in if you want a career in education. What would you do if you want to become eventually a university professor? What are the steps you should take? You know, we have Dr. Delone Augustine, who came also. She came in from Jacksonville, Florida. She's a reading specialist.
Cool.
Yeah, and she.
So all the people I mean with the struggle and need the dyslexia that might be, you know, somebody to look into it, right?
We have Pastor Agatha Lambe. She's a mental health specialist, also a counselor.
I love
So we will all be there,
right,
wrapping our arms around our students and giving them the necessary support. And also the mentors are the principal of Georgetown School, Mr. Desmond Ramirez. We have J.C. Williams from St. Bite. She's one mentor. We also have Ruth Reno from Belize City. Tanisha Ross, she's the actual vice chairperson of the Gary U. Who else do we have? This, and it's a very small team.
I like the team though, because this what you're explaining to me. This is beautiful, and I love this for our youth. I am so happy that we're gonna have access to this. I wish I had access to this when I'm in high school, but I'm glad somebody to get it. You know, I mean, this is amazing what you're doing, and I know your ancestors shining and smiling. I'm proud of you and everybody with the work on this for sure.
So we want to invite parents, especially who will be in the St. Bite area on Saturday. Opening ceremony starts at 9. We'll start with prayer and singing the Garifuna National Anthem. We'd really want to invite any parents to just come out, because at that time we just want to take a moment to pray for our young children. So if you could join us for the opening ceremony, and then you could leave when we get into the breakout sessions and stuff like that. And also, Sereme Hong Sung, a group regu, all of you who have supported the program, have ona bani harahiya, Sereme Wai Hong. Ni duhe yo sata werde rogwenle, ani hata da luwehi hawagu warahiya. Sata wa follow ni leichi gube wong, masta subudi la wong kala wasebe. So I want to ask everyone, all going to go to rise up, Sarah, when they do him, and then held down, low way he will go, yeah, balis, or yang wabe.
I love that. Every couple seconds I recognize one word, but I thank you for that.
The time has come for us to look after ourselves, Garinago. So I'm thanking the parents who send the children and who support us all the time.
Love it, love it. Thank you so much. I know that I will be seeing all these amazing youth doing amazing things, right?
Last word, anybody?
Build your own dreams, or else someone will hire you to build yours.
Aye.
Basically meaning. Basically meaning that instead of going and work for somebody, you can build your own environment, build your own community.
That is so true.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
I just want to tell everyone to be yourself. And I know that the bullying, a lot of people is bullying young teenagers. I just want you to stop it, because you don't gain nothing from bullying each other. We are one family. We should stick together. Thank you. I believe that you should believe in yourself and don't follow others bullying each other. We're all one. Thank you.
Now the most beautiful way for me we sign off. Great. I want to thank you so much. Encourage people Saturday if you're in Georgetown, St. Bite, or even if you're at Placencia, Maya Beach, wherever you are, if you're nearby, come. This is a very beautiful initiative. I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. And like I said, hopefully first but not last time. So we're gonna take a break and stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you for having us.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Babe, I'm going out to pay the water bill.
You don't need to go out. You could pay it from your phone. Look.
Babe, the credit card bill. I'll go pay it.
You can also pay it with your phone.
Babe,
Yes, love?
I need to go deposit the baby service pay.
You really want to go out, don't you? It's okay. I will make the transfer and you go play ball.
With Atlantic Bank Mobile, your personal banking experience is easier and more convenient. Bank your way with any of our digital channels and save time for what matters most.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Belizeans all around the planet Earth, this is a roll call. A roll call for all Belizeans living abroad. In a world that is becoming more uncertain and unstable, children and descendants of the Belizean soil must find common ground and align. Mark the date and make your plans. June 19th to June 22nd, 2024 at the Marriott Airport Hotel, Los Angeles, California. It's the historic first ever Belize Diaspora Summit. This summit will feature panel discussions featuring leading diaspora leaders and achievers. The Belize America Chamber of Commerce will host its annual business forum. There is a special delegation from the Ministry of Natural Resources to facilitate land queries for those in the diaspora, and a grand gala event to cap the Belize Diaspora Summit 2024. For registration and for more details, email info@BelizeDiasporaSummit.com or BIF 2024 California.eventbrite.com.
Belize! Dara is doing it big again. It's another grand raffle. A 12x12 fully burglar barred building. This grand raffle is to be held at the Lucky Dube Tribute on Sunday, August 4th at the Big Bird's Isle. For tickets, call Dara at 623-3662. For
And we're back, WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, whether you're listening on Creme FM or watching on XTV or on the app. And we are here for a final segment. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to give away those prizes, but hopefully you keep on listening because they have prizes all morning, so those will be, pushed down to morning stew. So that works out for morning stew, and it'll work out for we, but it'll work out for somebody. Yeah. So now we're joined by Baron Moody, and you have an event this weekend. Or 2 events this weekend, or the same event? One event, 2 flyers. So talk to us about what you're doing. It's Father's Day this Sunday. Also, as a reminder, there's...
Yeah, it is the day of the Eid this coming Sunday. This is the Hajj period, and it ends yesterday, actually. It ends today. And there will be the Eid that will be coming up on Sunday. And I should say that it normally is held at the mosque on Central American Boulevard, but this year it may be held at the Memorial Park. So look out for that. The Eid, which is the end of Ramadan, the Eid al-Adha, is this Sunday at 8 o'clock at the Masjid Mosque.
Right. So fathers can go and pray, and there's also your events. So maybe you could talk to us a bit about that.
Morning. I go by the name of Ras Protege, social media entities. You can find me on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, TikTok. Ras Protege, and we own the 100% Belizean promotional group called Ras Room, and we promote everything Belizean, from food to music to lifestyle, fashion, everything. All right, so big up Ras Room, and this weekend all about the Father's Day weekend, and for so much years I never said something exciting for Father's Day. I always see the Mother's Day, I never see the Father's Day. So I decided to move over to that side. Being that I'm a father now.
Congratulations, right? Congratulations.
So, I qualified to do something about this event now, right? So now we have a dominoes tournament. I believe most male like dominoes tournament. So with the host of dominoes tournament, we're having 6 to 8 teams participate. 6 the least, 8 the most, in order to keep the ratio the right way. We have winning prize, we have a cash prize, first and second place. We have what we call station prize, meaning dominoes game plays to an amount of points. And whoever reach 50% of the points, meaning the halfway line, win an extra prize. So apart from winning the actual game itself, if you reach a certain amount of points first, you will win an additional prize on top of your cash prize, right? So we have a dominoes tournament that starts from 11 a.m. in the morning until the end. Dominoes have no time frame because one game might last 15 minutes, next game might last 45 minutes, right? So dominoes have no time frame. But after the dominoes game, we do have the after party with area drummers and DJ Lala from Blue Steel, and it's all backed up by Rastream songs. So our entertainment day, fully loaded. I mean, we'll have food, drinks, entertainment, the full works. And this is Sunday, June the 16th.
On Father's Day.
On Father's Day, the actual day that is given to us.
If you don't have plans yet for that special dad, which you should, because
I
can't believe
after the ceremonies, what time the ceremonies start? At 8. At 8. Yeah. So attend the ceremonies on the boulevard. Come along, play some dominoes, enjoy some good entertainment, good food. We have food, we have a nice Sunday meal prepared, so you could purchase your food. We have we call Mel's Munches. This young lady, she make good stuffed peppers, jalapenos, nachos. So we have the full works, everything out there. We have Flavors Entertainment helping with the promotion. So we have a good Sunday plan for fathers. Starting at 11 a.m. in the morning.
That's important, brother. I mean, I don't want to say that we've been left out.
Well,
it's not really.
A lot of these guys deserve to be left out because they're not doing their part, and there are a lot of women. We we will talk about that, please, because I was right here when, for Mother's Day, even the 2 cents come to big up fathers and ask why, fathers don't get as much attention as mothers. Unfortunately, many fathers derelict in duties, and so women end up having to do what these deadbeat dads don't do. Right. But what is important is there are fathers who are out there and who are guiding, leading, showing the way to their children, and so we must focus on them. Yeah. We must hold them up in a special light, like you said, pray for them, make them continue to have guidance. And it might be a difficult time because some people lose their dads. So like you have Father's Day and you might miss your dad, especially if you had a good relationship with yours. So like I said, if you don't have plans for your dad yet, you should have had, but this is an opportunity. So you have the prayer, you have the Eid prayer, you could get yourself in a spiritual setting, get yourself right, and then also, as well as you said, you could get some entertainment as well, make sure you get one nice meal for dad. Sunday, very important, because, there are dads all over this country where they do just phenomenal. I see you all. No, I see them. I see them taking the kids to school.
That make we look bad, man.
No. Deadbeat dads make they, as the other deadbeat dads look bad. Deadbeat dads do not take away from the amazing fathers where they do amazing stuff and where they be amazing dads. And so definitely, we want to highlight them. We want to thank all the dads who do amazing things for their children, and even the surrogate children, because they have dads where they're not just the parent they own, but they're parents in the community, and then they father other people's kids so big respect to them.
So this weekend is for the good dads, great dads, the best dads. Come on, that's right. Celebrate.
No, I really do that.
Yeah, so along with the event, we have sponsors that allow the event to be possible. So I want to big up Heritage Pride. Go also check them out on Facebook and Instagram, Heritage Pride. They do merchandise. Okay. So the chain and the pendant is from Heritage Pride. You could look them up. They have so much different designs and different things where you could get it from.
That pendant look like is that a Belize?
It's a Belize map with all the districts.
Remember, this is the Rastream, the 100% Belizean entertainment. So we promote everything Belizean as well as the map. So come on, check Heritage Pride. We also have Blue Check Barber Shop. My personal barber is Jordan Howard on the Boulevard. You could go ahead and check out my barber. On my TikTok and Facebook, I have a TikTok video where I'm in the chair and he does his thing and he spins around the chair, and when the camera goes in and come out, it's like bam! Brand new man. Okay. Yeah man. The guy good at the machine, they do everything. Full hair treatment, you get your dye if you need a dye, you get your oil, get your soothing for your beards and so that's good. You know how the women go to a salon and lean back and then they get up back like a new person. That's it for men. Blue Check Barber Shop. Check out Jordan.
For the Park Queen Street.
Get a remake.
You get a remake. We also have to big up 420 Belize It. 420 Belize It is a smoke shop where they have so many items, not just the actual smoking, but the actual items. Like
paraphernalia.
Like the lighter and the crusher and the rolling paper, the roller, actual roll, whatever you need for roll, and then so many different items they have, from the food items where they have edibles, whatever they need, whatever you need, they have. Okay. All right. So big up.
And all of this is legal.
This is within the laws of Belize and the 10 grams and.
Just to throw it on.
Just to make sure we are good on that page, and then we also have to big up Mel's Munches, as I said. Here by Eden. Here by Eden is a young lady that does locks. Right now, me here now, deal now. But check me when Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday I get my hair done. Saturday I go to the barber shop, and Sunday morning, Father's Day, bam!
Clean up.
Brand new.
Clean up.
Yeah, so I have to big up Hair by Eden for the hair, big up Blue Check Barber Shop for the facials, big up Heritage Pride for the merch, big up Mel's Munches for the belly, because when the time come to eat, there's no time to play station with your belly. You know how that thing they go. So big up Flavors Entertainment, assist us with the
still around.
with the event. So the actual event will take place at Flavors Deck and Grill.
On Craig Street.
Number 1 Craig Street, across from the old Golden Bay. So
can't miss it.
Yeah, the
Big
place
sign
just
in it.
renovate. You got a nice shed now, lighting perfect, bathroom, whole bar
Facilities,
area.
everything nice.
Step up, newly renovated, so with step up, like you said, we step up the pace for the place and now with the do things now, right? So they got Flavors Entertainment to take up the challenge along with the rest.
Well, we're glad to know that you're in vogue, my brother, and this is a powerful event coming on a very special day.
Right.
A day that used to kind of like just pass, you know. If you look Father's Day was Mother's Day was, but Father's Day is gradually, I guess some of them they look from where and they improve themselves, so maybe we should have started have one.
I think the ratio of good dads to beat dads, they go out different, you know, like good dads they go higher and then beat dads. I think males they take it up on themselves, so not be what they beat dads.
Especially you young people.
Right.
You're starting to see the damage that has happened to your generation. Because we as older didn't do what we were supposed to.
We have a huge generational gap when it comes to dads and their kids.
Yeah.
So we need to try to find a way to gap it back.
Yeah, and it's not easy, and it's not women's fault. It's an issue.
I believe within the Domino's games, I think that's a good way to get back to
make we start to talk to each other.
Right, because we have 4 people that sit around our table for a time frame about an hour.
Yeah.
We need to talk about something.
And a real Domino's game.
Domino's game.
That was slap.
Boom. And just say that, right? We have some teams, for example, one Rebels for Penn Road. They have this guy where he not play like, once he have the feature, I have a thing where he say, feet, he partner holla, 1. And he slam it down, the whole table jump. Boom. So that was exciting to bring out the family.
And I'll tell you something. Some of the best Domino's man never even gone to high school with the
Right, you see that what thing?
Calculate the situation.
Right, Domino's that was maths game.
It is a maths game.
It
was in a school.
It was psychological game.
Absolutely.
Right, so you need to know to think and you need to know to do the maths because then the amount of numbers are in your hand. There only a certain amount of numbers
right.
on the
and
board.
then also right.
So you have to know how to match and so that was learning game now, great experience. I think that's something that we could probably invest more in and then have kids come out and
have a championship thing with
and stuff like that. So
thanks for being here, my brother.
Thank you for having me
of
on the show.
Of course.
Big up to everybody watching.
Right. And so definitely we have to take our last break. And so we'll do that and then we'll come back and wrap.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get store-wide discounts on selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie Power Tools, Char-Broil Barbecue Grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, oh, Benny's. Belizeans all around the planet Earth, this is a roll call for all Belizeans living abroad. In a world that is becoming more uncertain and unstable, children and descendants of the Belizean soil must find common ground and align. Mark the date and make your plans. June 19th to June 22nd, 2024 at the Marriott Airport Hotel, Los Angeles, California. It's the historic first ever Belize Diaspora Summit. This summit will feature panel discussions featuring leading diaspora leaders and achievers. The Belize America Chamber of Commerce will host its annual business forum. There is a special delegation from the Ministry of Natural Resources to facilitate land queries for those in the diaspora and a grand gala event to cap the Belize Diaspora Summit 2024. For registration and for more details, email info@BelizeDiasporaSummit.com or BIF 2024 California.eventbrite.com.
Upcoming enhancements to My Social Security. The new healthcare provider feature seamlessly connects healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers to facilitate the payment of sickness benefits. Here are the enhancements. Registered healthcare providers will create and submit online medical certificates using their healthcare provider accounts. Insured persons will receive a link to view the medical certificate to complete and submit their sickness benefit claim. And employers will receive an email notification of their employee's sickness claim. Also, the insured person and their employer will receive a copy of the claim decision letter after review. Healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers are encouraged to create a portal account to access and benefit from these new services on My Social Security at ssbportal.org.bz. My Social Security online portal. Social Security at your fingertips.
And that was our Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for streaming or listening, however you get your WB. Brother Nuri, I want to thank you so much for helping me to steer this very uncertain course this morning, because surprise from all sides. But
I was just
right, and again, I apologize to our sponsors. We did have prizes for the fathers from Belize Bank. We had eCash. And if you are gonna watch the morning stew, hopefully those prizes could be pushed down. But we want to thank Belize Bank for sponsoring from eCash, the Coco Pele Oasis Restaurant, and also Central Bites. We had prizes, but unfortunately we didn't have time. But that's not to say that we don't value fathers here on WB. I definitely, my uncles, my little brother who's just now a dad this year, and all the other fathers that I know that are good fathers, I want to thank you for being there for your kids, and I want to ask you that you continue to be the good dad that you are.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you always speak very highly of Mr. Usher too, so that is a good sign. I just want to, I don't say nothing about fathers, because that
sound like you'd pat yourself on your own back?
No, I will not do that. I am some very disingenuous. So, what? Boy, shut your mouth. So I will not get into that. But I will say that the Eid prayer, which is at the end of the period of Hajj, which is the pilgrimage to the city of Mecca, takes place this Sunday. This is usually a 3-day celebration, but we do it at least one day here in Belize. We will also be doing it for the Muslim inmates in the prison on Monday, but on Sunday we'll be doing it for all the Muslims. It will be in Belize City at the corner of Central American Boulevard and Farbers Road. And the reason I'm not announcing the plan for the Memorial Park is because it might rain. But I understand if it doesn't rain, the plan is to have it out in the wide open of Memorial Park. So listen up and you'll hear.
Yes.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Absolutely,
Katie.
Truly appreciate you. Thanks for your guests for coming in and sharing their events for this weekend.
Yeah, and can I also, I don't know to be mean, to be middle-mannered. But this event that takes place next week, which is called the Diaspora Summit, is extremely important. And we have been plugging it for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks here. It's a high-level event of which the Prime Minister of Belize will be there. We will also hear address from the Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Cordell Hyde, the Minister of
Natural
Resources will also.
There will also be land clinics.
There will be an immigration clinic likewise. I'm not sure if the Immigration Minister, Francis Fonseca, will be there, but I do know that this is an event that is huge, and I believe that we will be encouraging all people in the diaspora, especially those in Southern California, which has the largest amount of Belizeans in the United States, to make every effort to try to be there or to try to tune in on the various social media platforms wherein you'll be able to hear it. There will be a number of addresses, but most of it will be grounding and, you know, interacting and trying to get this engagement of our people from diaspora. So, shall we?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Belizeans. Well, let's thank those who were a part of our program today. Is it Anthony Grant or?
Yes, Anthony Grant, or the International Tony G as he is known. He is our from Radio Simulcast. Yes. Alexa Bilal, our MCO this morning. Clifton Lewis, our audio and camera, and everything else that was done before we got here.
Yep. So, Belizeans, stand strong and stand firm. We encourage you all the time to do the right thing. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize, we gotta keep moving. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place of calling. Be yourself, see yourself, this is the sound of people. Believe on a hope for meaningless reason. Nobody feel left out, it's the valid deal. It's not a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to the day. And all the things that we feel happen and talk and blue skies. I don't think that people get victimized. Let's work together for better week back to unite. Easy, wake up, Belize. Another day is here.